Good afternoon, my name is Kharlamova. I'm currently a senior international student athlete, and I'm going to present my research that I actually been working with my partner Emily, who could not be here today. It's powdered alcohol, the ambiguous nature of law creates barriers of entry and restricts competitive advantage for new innovations. So how many of you own a smartphone? Okay, how many of you take it with you to the bathroom? Okay, so obviously you would not use a plugged electronic device with you while taking a bath, right? Because you know it's dangerous, people die. And so, but you know, however it sounds, some cases will happen, and believe it or not, our government will try to regulate laws to protect those ones off people that die misusing the product. So laws confer significant value to firms through the protection of innovation, said Robert Berg. Existing laws are very generic. There's no such thing as customized law, so all new innovations and inventions have to fall into the category of existing laws. Today, legal resources create barriers of entry and obstacles for innovative thinking. Well, research shows that our legal system should be and can be a resource of competitive advantage. I mentioned competitive advantage. It's a pretty big concept created in this area of study. 30 things you need to know about it is a firm is to have a competitive advantage. It's whenever it's implementing a value-creating strategy that cannot be copied or duplicated by current or future competitors. So talking about competitive advantage is, as I mentioned before, law should be and can be a source of competitive advantage. And law is designed to promote economic growth, and changes in the legal environment should create stimulus for those companies to find new forms of competitive advantage as innovation. So going through the research, we realized that yes, law is a competitive advantage, but it's very connected with innovation. That is another resource, a source of competitive advantage as well, and they're very connected between each other because simply laws create new opportunities for us to invent or innovate something new. And you can see, take a picture, and it's one of the first elevators. And so if you think about it, years ago when artists created a new, invented a new product, contemporaries probably were disliking it or were afraid to put it in the market simply because this thing goes up and down. What if something happens? Just because of the cases that might be happening in the future. But as you can see in the long term, that innovation brought advantages or benefits into the market and into the world in general. So let me demonstrate you something. There's a bottle of water, and I'll take this package. And I really hope I don't create a mess because I normally do showing this. Okay. Oops, sorry. I'm just gonna pour this, put this right here, close the bottle, and I'm just gonna shake it. Most of you are gonna think it's kids Kool-Aid, right? What if I told you this is actually powdered alcohol? Okay, it's simply powdered crystalline alcohol that has been absorbed in a carbohydrate. A process that puts the alcohol from into a dry state instead of a liquid form. So, what would be your reaction? Probably not really positive, right? This research person is, showing me some alcohol right here while presenting her research. So that's kind of reaction everyone got after powdered alcohol was invented in the United States. This was Consumer Protection Fears data on this product before it was in the market, before anyone tried it, before it was sold in the market, which never happened. And my research partner Emily and I just went through some stats and saw obviously most of the adults would be concerned about powdered alcohol being misused by teenagers and people, just simply people underage. And that's what happened with the product, as I said before it was even in the market. Senator Schumer of New York express his concerns without seeing the product, trying the product, using the product, that it might be snorted, it might be injected, it might be a sprinkle in food or drinks, and that's what you would think of, right? But as I'll explain in the future, in the next couple of minutes, this was all very misleading. So in April 2014, about 5 years ago, the U.S. Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau approved labels for alcohol. It was created by Mark Truman, I think, in Arkansas-based company Lipsmark LLC, marketed, got labels, right? That's whenever public concern occurred, and the whole product went through trials, testing, reviews, which took about a year. So in 2015, alcohol, or part of alcohol, went through a second round of getting approved for labels. And so on this slide, you will see the number division of states and what happened with alcohol in the next couple of months after that. So a total of 34 states got banned part of alcohol right away without any testing or reviews. And the rest of 16 states actually either put it simply under legislation of liquid alcohol or kind of ignored the whole question. And we understand when those concerns were coming back from snorting, injecting, sprinkling. In this slide, you will see two kids, Logan and Wade Sweat, who in 2014 were overdosed on part of caffeine. New product came in the market, 2 cases happened. The product got banned right away. And also, both of those cases are very tragic. So we did not get to see the true potential of the product. And it's another example where government regulates those ones off without looking at the true potential of the product. And it's coming back to that alcohol being snorted. If Senator actually looked at data and saw the way part of alcohol works, he would see that the same amount of 1 shot of liquid alcohol would take you an hour to snort it in a powder. So simply, it's not smart to do that. It cannot be a sprinkle of food simply because it has to be dissolved in water. It simply wouldn't work. So the public ignored competitive advantages of alcohol that could be in consumer and industrial use. Yes, obviously consumer use is like, oh my gosh, it's easier for you to travel with it and go backpacking or anything else. But industrial use, this is the most important part of using alcohol. It can be used as medicine, as antiseptic, especially in remote locations like Africa. It can be used in military as an alternative to fuel. Same thing, remote locations for our soldiers. Manufacturing, recreation, energy, and obviously transportation. With transportation, it could reduce carbon footprint, which would also work for our environment. So simply thinking about transportation benefits of transporting part of alcohol comparing to liquid form of it in glass bottles. And so that comes to predictions for the future with this product. Since it was banned, obviously it'll have to go for some sort of testing, reviews, again, just to be considered to be put back in the market. While it's going through this transition, it can be used for research, it can be used for industrial use or anything else. And it's really hard to see, but countries that currently use alcohol in any sort of consumer interest or industrial interest, are Netherlands, Japan, and Germany. 3 countries way ahead of the United States of America, simply because they put the right laws, they protected the innovation through laws, and so far we haven't found any cases of the product being misused. And so that brings us to the conclusion of innovation being restricted by current laws and being banned without seeing the true potential of it. And that's what we currently see with a lot of inventions in the market. Just laws being not flexible enough to take the advantage of the innovation.